Okay, good evening, everyone. So in the last class, we discussed about global infrastructure of the AWS. And also we have seen like what is the free tier Amazon account features. So today we will create one new Amazon account, which we can use it as a free tier account. So first, whenever we create a new Amazon account, it will be considered as a free tier account, or we can call it as a free tier eligible. And once you are done with the first 12 months, then automatically it will be what we call that converted into a regular Amazon account. Converted into a regular Amazon AWS account. So we will see the different types of features available and the free tier eligibilities and all the things. Just give me 2 minutes. We will see the minimum requirements or prerequisites to create the AWS account. Okay. Okay, then first we will list out the requirements, what exactly we need to create the free tier account, and then we can proceed with the free tier account creation. So to create the free tier account, the first one is we need one valid email address. We need one valid email address, and also we need either a credit or debit card. What is that? Why we need the credit or debit card? Is Amazon is going to charge the is Amazon is going to bill you automatically, and is it going to direct the money from your cards? No. The credit or debit card is used to verify the payment method. Initially, if you are using an Indian card, Amazon will deduct 2 rupees from the account in the process of verification of the payment method. And after 2 to 3 working days, that amount will be credited back to your account. And you might have a question like, Amazon will automatically debit or deduct the money from your account. That is not possible as per the RBI guidelines. If you don't opt in, like if you don't give some kind of instructions to like what we call that ECH mandate or something, otherwise they never deduct any money from your Amazon account, like bank accounts or credit or debit cards. And without adding your debit or credit card, you cannot create Amazon account. And also, can I use any kind of Amazon, like any kind of a debit or credit card? No, it doesn't support. It only supports Visa, Master, I think, and American Express. These are the cards will be supported on AWS platform. I think if you have a RuPay card, you cannot use that RuPay card to validate your payment method. You have to use either Visa, Master, or American Express. This is especially for the India region. If you are using a different country's cards, they might support different types of the cards also. Earlier in the India, they used to support the Discover card also. Discover card. But now they withdraw the support, and only these are the 3 types of cards we can use from the India. These are the only 3 types of the cards. You can use either credit or debit card. And then you need one mobile number to validate your identity. They will verify your identification. Like how they will verify, just they will send one kind of a secret code. And if you enter that secret code, then they will validate your identity. That means you are using a valid mobile number. These are the 3 things which we need to create the Amazon account. Earlier, I think in 2021 and up to like early, up to March or April, we can create the Amazon account without having a valid email address also. You can use some random email ID and we can create it. But now Amazon is sending you a confirmation code on your email address. Amazon is sending you a confirmation code on email address to validate your email ID also. So you must have a valid email address, a valid mobile number, and either a credit or debit card. Always I recommend to use a new email address to create your Amazon account. I don't recommend to use your personal email, because sometimes what we call that, by mistakenly after 1 year, if you if you don't stop your services and if you got some bill, there is a very less chance that Amazon might not be able to waive off the charges. Let us say already you have utilized like 5 times or 6 times. They don't do continuously, right? There must be some limit. Then if you don't pay the amount, if you don't pay the bill, they will suspend your Amazon account. And after 90 days, your Amazon account will be deleted permanently. And you cannot use that email address to create a new account. So just to avoid the wastage of your personal email address for losing the Amazon account, always I recommend to use some alternate email address or a dedicated email only for the AWS learning purpose. Okay, right. So here already I created one email address just to create our new free tier account. And throughout the sessions, we are going to use the same AWS free tier account which we are about to create. And I'm going to use this one. This is the email address we are going to use to create our first Amazon account. So do we have to do anything in special to make that Amazon account as a free tier account? No. The moment once you create the new Amazon account, that will be considered as a free tier account. All the free tier features will be automatically applied on your newly created AWS account. Just a second, guys. Max tomorrow, 1 day. Okay, sorry guys, where are we? Okay, free tier account creation, right? Okay, so we are going to use this email address to create our first Amazon account. And what are the features of the free tier account? What are the free tier account features? Almost all the services are available in 3 different categories. The first category is, what is the first category? Always free. And the second category is 12 months free. And the third category is trial or a free trial. Always free means you can use those services at any time, like after 5 years or after 10 years also. 12 months free means there are few services which are eligible for 12 months only, and those services you can use in the first 12 months. Trial means those services comes with different time periods, like 30 days free trial, 60 days, 90 days, or 1 million requests, or 750 hours, 240 hours. There are different services available with different trial features. All those things we can discuss while we are learning that particular service, because there are a lot of services, right? So let us say if you start discussing about a service called EC2, at that time we can discuss about the free tier limits of that particular service. How many hours we can use, or what is the storage we can maximum the storage size we can use, or what is the number of resources we can select. Those things we can discuss in that specific service. So first, to create the free tier account, the URL will be aws.amazon.com/free. The same URL we have used to check the free tier features of the AWS account, right? The same URL we have to use to create the new Amazon account also. For that, just go open your favorite browser and just paste that URL aws.amazon.com/free. so that it will takes you to a page where you can check all the free tier features, limits, and everything. In that page, you can find out an option called create a free tier account. Click on that create a free account. Click on the create a free account. If you already used the Amazon services on your browser, then you will be taken to this page. If you are using for the first time, then you will be taken to a different page that I will show you. So here, click on create a new AWS account by any chance if you are seeing this page. If you click here, you will get into this page. If you are creating the account for the first time, then you will be taken to this page. If you already accessed the Amazon account, in between, you will get a page where it will allow you to log in using your existing AWS account credentials. So in this page, so here you have to provide the email address. But what you are able to see here? Root user email address. What is the meaning of a root user? What is the meaning of a root user? Root user will be considered as account owner. Root user is considered as account owner. What is the meaning of an owner? He will have the full control on your Amazon account. So here we are going to enter our email address. We are going to enter our email address. Whenever you log in with this email address to your Amazon account, you will be considered as you are the owner of that particular Amazon account. You will not have any restrictions and you can do any kind of actions on your Amazon account, including creating any server, creating any service, any database, and even being a root user, you can delete the Amazon account also. Okay, right. So then once you enter your email address, then the next component will be account name. What is that account name means? Let us say you are working for a company called ABC. Then we will mention the account name as your company name. So here what I do is I will use my name. I will use my name as Naresh IT16. That means this account belongs to so and so company, just for identification purpose. You can use ABC, you can use XYZ, that doesn't matter. Just a kind of account name. Just a kind of an account name. Once you enter your email address and the account name, then there is an option called verify email address. Earlier, we used to get a next option, like without verifying your email address, you can proceed with your account creation. But now Amazon inserted this particular feature called verification of your email address. Click on verify email address. Then it will ask you to enter the verification code. Where you will get that verification code is whatever the email address you have provided, on that email address, you will receive the verification code. So if you go to the Gmail, because I have used a Gmail, you can see one new email from the AWS. Click on that and you can see the verification code here. Right? Okay. So enter that verification code and then click on verify. So now they validated your email address, that the email address is a valid, and now it is asking to provide a password for your account. If you recollect the process of creating the Gmail, along with the email ID, you will provide your own password, right? The same way, to log into the Amazon account, you have to provide your password. And here, whenever you are trying to enter the password, it is giving you some information that the password must be at least 8 characters. The password must be at least 8 characters, and the uppercase letter, lowercase, number, and non-alphanumeric character. What is the meaning of that? Your password must contain or must fulfill all these requirements. Without using an uppercase letter, like a capital letter, you cannot set a password. At least one capital letter must exist, one small letter, one number, and one special character. Non-alphanumeric means other than the character alphabet and number, like special characters like @ $, dollar symbol, hash, These are the special characters. Okay, so now I'm going to enter a password and then confirm password. The same password you have to repeat. Once you assign your own password, click on continue. It seems I entered the wrong password. Wait. Click on continue. And then it will take you to a new page where you have to provide your account details. Is this account for your organization or your personal use? This account is for personal use, right? If by any chance, if you are creating this account for your company, then you have to select business. Is there any difference in the process of creation? There is no difference. Only difference is if you select the business option, it will ask you to enter your organization name. If I select personal, it don't ask you the organization name. That is the only difference. Apart from that, all the fields are same as like business and personal. So here select the personal and use your name, use the valid name, because sometimes randomly Amazon will ask you to what we call that, to validate your address. So whatever the name you provide here, you have to provide some kind of a utility bill like telephone bill or current bill or something. Randomly they will select and they will ask for the verification. So use your valid name. Always it is better. Earlier we used to have some random names, but nowadays it is not working. And then you have to give some number. And here you can give any number, that doesn't matter. So you have to give your country code and just enter the number. And then you have to select your country or region. If you select a wrong country, then everything will be messed up. You have to select the correct country, which is India. Select the country and you have to provide the address also. Just you can use some address. And then select the checkbox that you are accepting the agreements with the AWS, like usage agreements, license agreements, and everything. And then click on continue. Once you click on continue, it will ask you to provide a credit or debit card details. That means they are going to validate your payment method. If there is any bill, you are going to pay the bill using this particular card. As this session is getting recorded, what I do is I will stop the screen share. I will enter my card details here. I will enter the details of the card. And then here there is one option called, do you have a PAN? Is it mandatory to enter the PAN number? Not required for the personal, but for the organization, it is recommended to mention as a yes. Why? Because to get the tax benefits, because organizations on this AWS, whatever the charges you have to pay, there will be some tax. The organizations will claim the tax. For that, the tax will be paid on the organization's PAN number. So if you are creating this account for the organization, then you have to select the PAN number, yes, and you have to provide the PAN number of your organization, not yours. But as I'm creating this for my personal usage, I will select the PAN as a no. So here I will fill all the boxes, all the fields, and then I will click on verify and continue. So that it will take me to my banking page where I have to authorize the payment of 2 rupees. Okay. So I fill all the details and I click on verify and continue. And then I will resume the screen sharing. So from there onwards, I will show you like what are the other steps we have to do in order to create the free tier account. Give me a second. Let me fill all the details first. And even you can use the debit card also. There is no mandate that we have to use the credit card. But earlier, Amazon only supported the credit cards. That's like about like 2014, 2015. In those days, they only supported the credit card. But now they started supporting the debit cards also. So let me enter all the details. And let me enter the CVV. And I selected that PAN as in no. And then I clicked on verify and continue. Let it go to the next page. Then I will resume the screen sharing. Okay, so I was taken to my banking page. So where I need to enter the one-time code which is sent by my bank, because I need to authorize the payment, right? Otherwise, this particular bank will not allow the Amazon to get the money. So once I click on submit, then it will go to the next step where we need to fill all other details. So as of now, what we have done, we entered our email address. We validated our email address, right? We validated our email address, and then we provided all your details, like the account is for the business purpose or personal. And then we added the payment method. And I am using the debit card, not the credit card. Then you need to confirm your identity. How they will validate your identity is by using your mobile number. By using your mobile number, Amazon will validate your identity. So most of the time, most of the people will overlook this one, and they will enter their mobile number here, and they will wait for the one-time code to receive on their mobile phone. By default, it will be selected as United States. You have to change that to the India if you are using the India number. And then you have to enter the mobile number. And then you have to enter this CAPTCHA code. Once you enter all the fields, then click on send SMS so that you will receive the one-time code on your mobile. And once you enter that code, then your account will be validated. Your identity will be validated and your account will be created. Just wait for a few seconds. It might take some time. Okay, I got that code, and the code will be 6621. And if you enter the correct code, then your identity will be verified. Once your identification has been verified, then you will be taken to a page where you have to select a support plan. There are 4 different types of support plans available. One is a basic support, which is a free, in which you don't get much support from the AWS. Only account related and billing related support you will get, but not a technical support. And the next level support is a developer support, where they will charge like $29 per month. In that case, you will be having an access over email during the support hours, not like 24 hours, like during 12 hours, 12 business hours reply you will get from the support team. And the next one is the business support, which is $100 per month, where you can contact the support team over email or a call or a chat. What do you think that the companies will use? Which type of a support plan? Business. But nobody will use the business support. Might be a small companies might be used, but most of the companies will use the 4th type of a support plan, which is an enterprise level support. Enterprise level support, and that is the costliest support plan available on AWS. But the thing is, if you go for the enterprise level support, Amazon, like AWS, will allocate a dedicated team for you, a dedicated manager, support manager, and a support team. So they will help you with all the technical things. Let us say you are planning to implement some kind of a new infrastructure and you need some help, so that they can help you on like how to create, what kind of services to use to maintain the availability or to get the high security and all the things. But that enterprise level support plan starts from like almost like $15,000 per month. And that is not the fixed one. The support charges, the plan charges will be varied on the bill what you are going to pay on a monthly basis. If you are paying like $1 lakh, then the support plan charges will be different. If you are paying like $1 million per month, then the support charges will be increased. Based on your usage, the support plan charges will be varied. Most of the companies like medium to large companies will go for the enterprise level support. Just small companies like startups, they will go for the business support. But in the business support also, you don't get that much detailed help. Just they will give you some pointers and you have to use it. Whereas the enterprise level support, they will help you in each and every bits and pieces. Everything they will help you. Okay, so as it is for our personal purpose, I don't want to go with any other support plan. I will select the basic support plan, which is a free. Select the basic support and click on complete sign up. So our Amazon account got created and with the email ID and the password, right? So now let us see how to log into our Amazon account for the first time. And we will see how the console looks like. Like whenever you log into the Amazon account for the first time, how it looks like. So to log into the Amazon account, we have to use the URL called aws.amazon.com. aws.amazon.com. Then on the top right side, you can get an option called sign into the console. If you don't get this particular option, sign into the console, then you have to go to my account and you have to click on AWS management console. When that will happen is, if that is the first time you are opening the AWS account on your browser, then you might not get this sign into the console option. Then you have to click on my account and you have to click on AWS management console. The both options will take you to the sign in page. So this is the sign in page. So you have to log in with your Amazon account. So here you can see in the sign in, there are two different options available: root user and IAM user. Which one we have to select to log in? Root user, because we don't know what is the IAM user yet. We have only one user account called root user. Root user is the user account which is created at the time of account creation. If you see the root user, you can see that account owner that perform tasks requiring unrestricted access. There will be no restriction for the root user because he is the owner. Select the root user and here enter the email ID. Enter your email ID and then click on next. Then it will ask you the password. What is the password? The one which we assign at the time of account creation. The password is not going to generate randomly. Whatever the password you mention, that will becomes your account password. So let me enter the password here and then click on sign in. So once you enter the correct username and password, like email ID and password, you will be logged in as root user into your Amazon account. Whenever you log into your Amazon account, you will get this particular pop-up window. What might be the meaning of that? Recently, Amazon's introduced a new UI, user interface, like a new version of the browser and an old version of the browser. Always, I recommend to use the new console home so that after a few months, the old console will be removed. Like if you see the websites, 1 year the website with one color and the next year they might change the colors, right? The new look. The same way they introduce a new UI on AWS account. So if you are familiar with the old one, or if you habituated with the old UI, after a few months, once the Amazon, what we call that, the remove the old UI, you will get some confusion. You will not be able to identify which option is available at which location. That's why always I recommend to use the new UI that will be available for the next couple of years. There will be no confusion. Okay. So once you log into your Amazon account, you will look like this particular page. This is called as console home. This is the home page of your Amazon account. What all you can observe on this account or on this particular page? Ignore this particular part because these are the recently visited services. If you are logging in for the first time on that particular computer, you don't get all these list of services. You can get some blank there. If you see on the top left side, there is one option called services on the top left, right? If you click on that services, you can see the list of all services available on Amazon platform. Let us say if I click on compute, in that there are different services. If I click on database, I can see the different services available on the database. If I click on machine learning, there are different services available. All the services available on Amazon platform can be accessible using this services option. And then on top right corner, you can see there is one name, right? What is that name? Naresh IT 16. How that got there? Why it is showing as a Naresh IT 16? Because that is the account name we have assigned at the time of account creation, right? Okay. So I can identify my Amazon account using my email ID or the account name. But how Amazon will recognize your Amazon account? Whenever you create a new Amazon account, Amazon will assign an account ID. What is that account ID is? Account ID is a unique number which is assigned to each and every AWS account available on the AWS platform, from where we can see that particular AWS account ID. On the top right corner, click on your account name and you can see the account ID here. This will be my account ID. Amazon will identify my account using this particular account ID. Okay, right. What is the next one? Behind that particular account name, you can see something named, right? N.Virginia. That is what the region is. If I create something on this page, that will be created in Northern Virginia region. Let us say if you would like to create in Mumbai, then you have to change the region from here. These are the list of regions available on AWS platform. And you can see for this Northern Virginia, there is some code available here, US-East-1. What is that? Let us say for every airport, there will be unique code, right? So we call it as like Hyderabad airport or Shemshabad airport. But how the DGCA will identify that is using the code called HYD or whatever it is, right? In the same way, every region will be identified using this unique code. It has a meaning. What is the meaning of that is this Northern Virginia region is available in the United States, east side, and that is the first region. And there is one more called Ohio, that is also in the US, east side, second region. In the same way, what will be the code for the Mumbai? There is a region called Mumbai in India, right? What might be the code? IN. There is no IN because in the global market, they don't consider as a India or Sri Lanka or China. They will consider all these things as Asia Pacific, AP, Asia Pacific. Okay, so obviously AP. Then east, west, north, south, what might be that? South. Okay, let me show you that. That is not a south actually. This is the Mumbai, sorry, that is a south actually. Asia Pacific, Mumbai. That means on the Asia Pacific side, this is on the south side of the Asia Pacific, and in the south side, this is the first region. That is the first region and one and only region on the Asia Pacific south side. Whenever they launch the new region in Hyderabad, then they will call it as AP-South-2. Or in between, if they launch some other region on the south side, they will give the 2 to that particular region and they will assign 3 to the Hyderabad. Those are the unique codes. If you go for Sydney, you can see AP, Asia Pacific, Southeast-2, Sydney. Singapore is the Southeast 1. These are the different region codes available on the AWS platform. And totally, there are 26 available regions across the globe. And there are 6 or 8 regions already announced, and they will be available in the next couple of years. Okay. Now we created one AWS account, and we can log into the AWS account using the email ID and password. I think already yesterday I mentioned that that is not the secure way to maintain any type of an account, right? So for that, what we have to do is we have to enable multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication. What is the meaning of a multi-factor authentication? Multi-factor authentication or a two-step verification, both are same. We can call it as a multi-factor authentication or a two-step verification. Whenever you're trying to log in, the Amazon will validate your authenticity or authorization in 2 different levels. In 2 different levels. In the first level, they validate your authorization using your email ID and password. And in the next step, they will ask you to enter a dynamically changing code. Dynamically changing code means every 1 minute or every certain amount of time, the code will be randomly generated. Like earlier, I got some 6-digit code from my banker, right? That is not the fixed one. If I am doing another transaction, I will get a new 6-digit code. But my card details, expiration date, and CVV, everything will be the common. That is the first level of a verification, and the OTP is the second level of a verification. In the same way, on our Amazon account also, we can enable multi-factor authentication so that the verification will be done in 2 different steps. Now the question is, the first verification step will be using your email ID and password. Then what is the second step? Some 6-digit code or something, right? Where we can get that 6-digit code? Where we can get that 6-digit code for the 2-step verification? Definitely not on your mobile phone, not as a text message. Generally, there are some devices called multi-factor authentication devices. Have you ever seen any devices? There are physical devices and virtual devices available. Are you guys aware of any MFA virtual devices? No? Okay. So have you ever heard about like Google Authenticator? That is nothing but the multi-factor authentication device. But that's a virtual device. Physical device means you will get some kind of a physical device like your pen drive or some kind of a swiping card kind of a thing. Okay. And here we are going to use our virtual MFA device. So first, let us write down about what is a multi-factor authentication. By enabling MFA, this is also called as MFA, multi-factor authentication. By enabling MFA, AWS will do 2-step verification at the time of login to AWS account. The first step will be using the username and password. And the second step will be one-time code. The second step will be one-time code. And to receive the one-time code, we are going to use multi-factor authentication devices. And in these multi-factor authentication devices, we have 2 different types of devices available. One is a physical MFA device. And the second one is a virtual MFA device. So I can show you the images of the physical MFA devices. I can show you what are the different types of physical MFA devices available. And whenever I talk about the physical MFA device, we have to purchase it directly by going to the Amazon or some other online stores, or directly you can go to the stores and you can purchase. Have you ever heard about like RSA keys? RSA key is also a type of a MFA device. Just I will show you the images which are available on AWS platform itself. Then we can use the virtual MFA device to configure our MFA account. Virtual MFA device is nothing but a mobile application. or a software. Can you give some examples of the virtual MFA devices? Google Authenticator, Duo Mobile, Authy two-factor authentication. Then Microsoft's one is there, Microsoft Authenticator. And there are so many applications available. Out of all those, Amazon will support 5 to 6 applications as an MFA device. I will show you the list of all the devices at the time of enabling multi-factor authentication. Okay, right. So now what we do is the first thing, enable MFA on newly created AWS account. Let us enable multi-factor authentication on newly created AWS account. So once we enable the multi-factor authentication, then we will log out from the AWS account and we will try to re-log in. At that time, it will ask you to provide the 6-digit one-time code. And the code will be randomly generated for every 60 seconds. The code will be randomly generated for every 60 seconds. Okay. So now first thing, we have to log into our Amazon account. This is our Amazon account, right? Already we logged in. To enable multi-factor authentication, you have to click on your account name, which is on the top right corner. Click on your account name, which is on the top right corner, and then click on security credentials. Click on security credentials. So that it will take you to a page where you can configure multi-factor authentication. So here you can see there are a lot of options available, and you can click on multi-factor authentication. Click on multi-factor authentication and you will get an option called activate MFA. Click on activate MFA. Click on activate MFA. So here there are 3 different options to activating the MFA, right? One is a virtual MFA and the remaining 2 options belongs to physical MFA devices. So without knowing about like what is a physical MFA device and virtual MFA device, it is not recommended to proceed with the steps, right? So here you can see some link is there, right? AWS multi-factor authentication. Click on that link so that a new tab will be opened where we can check the details about all the types of multi-factor authentication devices. So we will come to this virtual MFA device later. What is the first one? Universal second factor security key. Let me click on purchase so that we can see how it looks like. This is the one, how it looks like. A kind of a pen drive. So whenever you are logging into the Amazon account, always this device must be connected to your computer. If you don't connect this device, you cannot log into the Amazon account. Like if you enter your email ID and password, then instead of asking for the OTP, like one-time code, it will ask you to connect this U2F security key. Just like how you connect your pen drive, in the same way you have to connect it. Then only you can log in. Anybody can guess your username and password combination, but they cannot build or they cannot create the same exact key, because every key available in the market is a unique key. No 2 keys will contain the same kind of algorithm or something for multi-factor authentication. And this might cost you not big amount, like $45 to $50. And there are some devices which are available at $25 also. It depends on the company and the quality. Okay, and then the next kind of a thing is hardware key fob MFA device. So this is how it looks like, which looks like a kind of a small device with a screen on which a 6-digit code will be randomly generated for every 60 seconds. If you are using this one And if you use this to enable the MFA, Amazon will ask you to enter this 6-digit code at the time of login. This is the very low cost device. Hardly it will cost you like $14.61. And then there is one more thing called hardware display card MFA device. What might be that? It's a kind of a swiping card. A kind of a swiping card. There are some laptops or computers comes with card reader, or they will use some kind of external device to swipe these cards. But I think nobody will use these kind of a cards. Majority of the companies, whoever willing to use the physical MFA, they will use the first two categories. This is the what we call that outdated kind of a category. And then there is the last one called hardware key fob MFA device for US cloud, government cloud. In the Amazon is maintaining government clouds in the US region, where we cannot use any servers or services in that. If you are working for a government organization in the US, and if you are trying to create an account, and if you would like to enable multi-factor authentication for high security, you can use this kind of a MFA device. And coming to the virtual MFA devices, you can see the supported virtual MFA devices on AWS platform. If you are using Android phone or iPhone, that doesn't matter. On both platforms, these are the list of applications compatible as a virtual MFA device for your AWS account. Authy, Duo Mobile, LastPass Authenticator, Microsoft Authenticator, Google Authenticator, and Semantic VIP. Almost all these tools are free of cost. You can download the Google Authenticator, Microsoft Authenticator, and Duo Mobile for free, including Authy and LastPass also. But I never use the Semantic VIP application. But all other are like free to download from Apple Store or Play Store. Okay, just before enabling the multi-factor authentication, you have to download any of these applications and you have to install on your mobile phone. Once your mobile is ready with one of these virtual MFA devices, then you have to start the configuration of multi-factor authentication on your AWS account. So what type of MFA device we are trying to use? Virtual MFA, right? So select the virtual MFA device and click on continue. Then you will get this page where you will get some QR code. Click on show QR code. Then what we have to do? You have to open the virtual MFA application installed on your computer. So I have Google Authenticator on my phone. So in that application, at the bottom right corner, you can see some symbol called plus. Whenever you click on the plus, you will get two different options. One is scan a QR code, and the second one is enter a setup key. Let us say on your mobile phone, your camera is not working properly, so that you cannot scan the QR code, right? In that case, you can select enter a setup key. And where is the setup key? So here there is one option called show secret key, right? If you click that, you will get the key. You have to enter this entire key manually on your mobile phone. Instead of that, it is easy to scan the QR code, right? Just click on the scan a QR code button and just you have to scan it. So that on your mobile phone, you can see one entry called Amazon Web Services, in the brackets root account MFA device. Then it will show some 6-digit code. That 6-digit code you have to enter here 702 and 572. And then you have to wait till you will get a new code. You should not miss any code in between the two codes. You have to enter two consecutive codes. Based on the pattern of the code generation, it will identify the application installed on your mobile phone. Because these codes will be generated using some unique algorithm. Based on the two successive codes, that algorithm will be identified by Amazon, and it will only accept the one-time code from that mobile application only. Let us say I am logging with the username and password, And whenever it asks the code, if I enter the code from your Google Authenticator app, does it work? No, it will not work because my mobile application got integrated with this AWS account. What we have done is I integrated my mobile application called Google Authenticator with this particular AWS account. From now onwards, whenever you log into the Amazon account, it will validate using the multi-factor authentication. Just I signed out, right? Now let me try to log in again. This time it will not allow me to log in using only the email address and password. It will ask me to enter the MFA code also. So first, let us go to the aws.amazon.com, aws.amazon.com, and then you will get into this page after clicking on sign in. Then here, select the root user and select your email address. Enter your email address, click on next. It will ask you to enter the password. Earlier, whenever you used to click on sign in, we were successfully logged in. But now it will ask you to enter the MFA code. If you enter the wrong MFA code, it will not allow you to log in. If you observe, I'm entering in different code from the earlier, because every 60 seconds, I will get a new code on my mobile phone. Every 60 seconds, automatically a new code will be generated on your Google Authenticator. How to? Like by entering the 2 consecutive codes. Okay. So how the Amazon will identify my application? I'm using the Google Authenticator, right? How Amazon knows what code is on my mobile phone. So earlier, while we are configuring that particular Amazon multi-factor authentication, Amazon asked us to enter 2 consecutive codes, right? 2 successive codes. Based on the pattern of the code, it will identify the algorithm, on which algorithm the codes are getting generated. Based on that, it will have the codes for every minute. Let us say Amazon knows that what will be the code on your Google Authenticator today at like 8 p.m. because they got the algorithm of your Google Authenticator app. Based on that, they know what is the code on your mobile phone. That is how they can validate whether you are entering the correct MFA code or not. Okay, right. So this is how you can create the free tier account on AWS platform. And we are going to use this AWS account for all the services to practice. Okay, so tomorrow we are going to start our first service called Identity Access Management. That is the service we have to use to secure our Amazon account. Not only the login purpose, every kind of security can be managed using that particular identity and access management service, in which we can create different users. Because in your organization, there might be multiple employees exist, right? They have to log into the same account to create the servers or to utilize the existing servers. So the concept called identity access management, where you can create the users, groups, and you can apply some permissions to the users using the concept called policies. So all these things we can cover in that particular identity access management. So do you guys think that our Amazon account got secured? Or do we have to do any other things? Do we have to do any other things on our Amazon account to secure the account? Okay, let us say I am the administrator. So you are a newly joined employee in my company, and you requested an Amazon account to log into this particular AWS account. You need one username and password. Definitely, I don't share my username and password, right? So what I do, I will create one username and password for you. And whenever you log in for the very next time, you will change your password, right? You will change your password. So if you set a password like 123456, do you think that your user account is a secured account? No, that is a randomly used password and easy to guess. Every company will have their own password policy. By default on Amazon, they provided the password policy as 8 characters, one uppercase letter, lowercase, number, and special character. But your company might have the password policy of 20 characters or 15 characters. If any user account is less than 15 characters, they will consider that that account is under risk. So how to secure that particular kind of situations? So if I am able to create my own password policy for this AWS account, what is the meaning of a policy? Some kind of instructions, right? Some set of rules that is called as a policy. Policy is nothing but some kind of a rule. So if we are able to create a password policy like minimum password length should be 11 characters or 12 characters, it must contain at least one uppercase letter, lowercase, number, special character. And is there any other things we have to take care of the passwords? Have you seen some kind of restrictions on the passwords? No? Okay. So how many of you are using the net banking? I guess everybody will have, right? So are you able to use the same password for your net banking for like 10 years or 20 years or at least 1 year? No. I think depending on the bank, every 90 days, you have to change your password, right? That is called as a password age. Nobody can use the same password for more than 30 days or 60 days or 90 days. Okay, we can implement that also. So while you are changing the password on the 91st day, if you are using the old password as a new password, do you think that your account is secure? No. So what we do is we will prevent the user from using the previous password. Prevent password reuse. I can mention that no user can use the last 5 passwords as a new password. These are the password policies maintained by any organization. Coming to my organization, we use like minimum 23 characters for a password. There are few companies, they might use only 15 to 16 characters, but every 30 days, they will rotate the password. I mean, they will ask to change the passwords. If I don't change the password, I cannot log in. That is called as password expiration. These are the different options available in the password policy. In the tomorrow's session, first we will discuss about the identity access management. And at the same time, we will see how can we secure our user accounts. Every user must have to use the complex password. That is called as a complex password. And then we will enable billing alarm. I will configure one billing alarm for $3 or $5, so that whenever the charges on my AWS account is going more than the $3, AWS will send one email alert to my email ID, so that in advance I can log in and I can delete all the services which are accumulating some bills. That's how we can safeguard our Amazon account from getting huge bills. But no worries, by any chance, if you got some bill, we can get the credit waiver from the AWS accounts. They will give you the credit waiver like 2 times or 3 times or so, but they don't give you like every month forever. But initially, they will have some kind of a rules like 3 times or 4 times in a year or so. Based on that, they will give you that particular credit waiver, especially if you are using that for the practice purpose. Based on your usage, they can identify that whether you are using it for the practice or you are using it for the production purpose. Because recently also I got some like by mistakenly I created something and I forgot to delete some big server. I got like $49 or something. After the bill got generated, I sent a support ticket and within like 2 to 3 working days, they got the credit waiver. They applied the credit waiver on my account and my bill got 0. And the moreover, the account is like 2 years old. Even my account is not a free tier account. So that will happen. Like whenever you mention that you are using it for practice, and if they don't found any kind of production usage, then they will give you the credit waivers. Okay, right. So this is about the free tier account creation. So before coming to the next session, I recommend to create one account for yourself so that you can do the practicals like once you are done with the classes. Always it is recommended to complete the practicals on time so that you can understand more clear. And sometimes you might get some new questions also. Most of the times while you're doing the practicals, you will get some new questions, so that by asking the questions, you will get some clarity. Okay, all right. So as soon as possible, I will create the Google Drive account and I will collect all your email addresses and I will share the class notes and everything. Whatever we discuss, that I will share in that particular Google Drive. And then we will create the group also, Telegram group, so that if you have any questions, like you can share your questions there and you can ask the questions and you will get some clarification about those issues with me. Okay, right. So before closing the session, are you guys clear or any questions? Yes, but once you pay the bill, they don't give you the refund. If you, they will never deduct the amount. Amazon will never deduct a single rupee from your card. Just you have to verify that you have a valid card. That's it. Because as per the RBI guidelines, they don't have that kind of authority to automatically deduct unless you give the approval. But as of now, Amazon don't have such plans to provide that kind of auto debit option. Earlier, we used to have that. Also, they will deduct automatically if you select that particular feature. Otherwise, AWS will never deduct any amount from your Amazon account. Okay. Okay, if you don't pay the bill, they don't suspend immediately. They will wait for like as per the policy, they will wait for 2 bills. Let us say in the January month, one bill got generated, you have to pay in February, you haven't paid. Again, February, the bill got generated, you have to pay in March. Still, if you don't pay, by end of March, they can suspend your Amazon account. By paying the money, you can resume or reactivate your account. Once the account got suspended, I think they will wait for 90 days. After 90 days, your account will be deleted. From that moment onwards, again, there will be 90 days of post-closure period. After crossing that post-closure period, you cannot recover your AWS account. You are going to lose that account completely and permanently. You can create new one, but as per the agreements what you have signed, you are liable to pay the money at any time. But if the amount is like a small one, Amazon will never take care about that. They don't send you any notice or a legal notice or something, right? But always you are liable to pay for even that is a 1 rupee. Okay. Right. But if you got a bill, just you have to create the support ticket and you will get the credit waiver. Credit waiver. If you, there is a support option there. You have to contact the support team and you need to create some ticket. Like I am using this account for the learning purpose and I got so and so bill, and they will guide you like what services you have to delete. So once you delete the services, they will cancel the bill. They will make the bill as a 0 for that month. That is available. So do we have to use the Gmail only or can we use any email address? You can use any email address, including the outlook.com, yahoo.com. Okay. There is no restriction for that. Is like MFA is a chargeable. We enable the MFA, right? Amazon is going to charge for enabling this multi-factor authentication. No, Amazon will never charge for using that multi-factor authentication. The only charges are if you are willing to use the physical MFA device, then you have to pay the money and you have to purchase the device. That's it. Amazon will never charge any amount for using or configuring that particular MFA. Both are same, but most of the banking and financial organizations will use that keys because at those times, there is no such kind of virtual MFA devices. But nowadays, very few people are using. Like whoever is using since like so many years, they are continuing to use that. But most of the people are using the virtual MFA. And what will happen if I lose the MFA? We cannot log in, right? We can reset it. We can reset it. Like we can say like MFA troubleshoot, like I don't have access to my MFA device. So that Amazon will send you one reset link to your registered email address. By using that link, you can reconfigure a new MFA application, like new MFA device for your account. Those things we can see going forward. That will be covered in IAM topic. Like what happens if I forget the password, how to reset the password. All these things are required, right? That we can discuss in the identity access management service. Okay, any other questions? Nothing will happen because I am creating a lot of Amazon accounts with the same debit card and multiple email addresses. Because for every class, every session, I have to, like every batch, I have to create new AWS account, right? That will not be a problem. You can. The only problem might be if you create multiple AWS accounts and if you don't pay the bills and if the accounts got suspended, might be at that time they might block your card. But I'm not sure because I never, always whenever I got a bill, I will create a support ticket and I will got the credit waiver. Like they will remove the bill. Okay. Let us say if you created some chargeable services and if you forgot to stop it, Amazon will continuously charge. Like 1 year, if you used 1 month, 2 months, continuously for that servers or services, you will be charged. But once the account got suspended, still the services are there. But once the account got deleted, all the data you will lost. Whatever the data you store on the Amazon account, you are going to lose all the data. Okay. Right. Any other questions? Deadline for the payment means like every month on 1st, you will receive the bill. So I think by 10th or 15th, you have to pay the bill. But if you don't pay on date, they don't suspend your account. They will give you like almost like 1 to 2 months of time. After that, only they will suspend your account. Okay. Right. Any other questions? So about the regions, all these things we can discuss because just we are at the beginning stage, right? Whenever we start creating our servers or services, at that time we will see like how to change the region, how to create server in Mumbai or US or Australia. That we will see how to change and all the things. Northern Virginia, yeah. No, you can select anything. You can create your servers anywhere across the globe. That depends on your company. Let us say if you're working for a company and if your company don't want to maintain their data outside of India, then you have to keep all your servers in India. And your company might work for some other client, right? And the client is based on US. And they don't want to maintain their data outside of the US. But you are in India, right? But where you have to create your servers? In US. So at that time, you will change the region and you will create those servers in that particular region. What do you mean by speed? Across the regions, all the regions are connected with high speed Amazon's own optical network. So the latency will be very less and the data transfer speeds are very high. Okay, right. Any other questions? Okay, any other questions? Okay, if you are clear, you guys can leave and we will continue from tomorrow with our first service called Identity Access Management. Okay, Right. Thank you, everyone. We'll meet tomorrow at the same time. That you can check with Rajesh. You can find Rajesh at the downstairs. He's the admin of this batch. You can check with him. Okay, you have to enable that, right? Already enabled. MFA also enabled. All these what they have